Hello, folks. Happy Saturday. This is Mike Jenkins, and we're heading into Memorial Day. Well, we're in Memorial Day weekend. Monday is Memorial Day. And I was able to procure this baby, which is War for Cybertron Megatron, who has Lionizer and Pinpointer held hostage. This is a version of I believe this is a third version of this mold that's released. There's a Siege Megatron here that was released that I purchased, and then they did a more cartoony version of this, and now they're releasing what they call the Netflix version of that. Netflix is going to be premiering a Transformers War for Cybertron cartoon series, which is going to be airing in June, which is next month. And it has a heavy roster of big hitters. You know, you've got Optimus Prime, Megatron, Soundwave, Shockwave, Ironhide, Elita 1. So you got some top names coming up in this cartoon series. And I'm really hoping it turns out to be a good series. It's on Netflix, so I hate having high hopes for things, but I have high hopes for it. The previous Prime Wars trilogy Transformers cartoon series was just dreadful. It was awful, by Machinima. And some of the players from that show are coming over into this Netflix show. So I'm hoping that they learn their lesson and they don't head into some of the bad storytelling and acting that was in that show. So we'll see what happens. But it was important for me to procure this set mainly because of Pinpointer. Pinpointer is the Targetmaster that goes with Crosshairs. And one of the most frustrating things about this toy line so far is they are doing the Targetmasters. So Crosshairs here is a Targetmaster, but he doesn't come with Pinpointer. And Crosshairs is from the original G1 line. He was released in 1987. He was featured in the 4th season of the US cartoon series, which was titled Rebirth. And he was also featured in the Japanese series Headmasters, which works as the Japanese version of season 4 for that series as well. So Crosshairs originally came with Pinpointer, but the weird thing they're doing with this toy line is they're splitting up the Targetmaster partners. So the main robot comes out usually a deluxe, always a deluxe. But then you have to go through all sorts of crazy hoops to find the gun partner. So far, Crosshairs and Pinpointer are the first of the Autobot Targetmasters to be brought together and be completed as a team. All of the first wave Decepticon Targetmasters have been released. And now it's the Autobots' turn to try to complete their set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these babies up. I'm not going to open Siege Megatron. This will remain sealed in box. And I'll be opening the Netflix War for Cybertron Megatron in the interest of getting Pinpointer partnered up with Crosshairs, and Lionizer, who's finally in good G1 colors. I will be pulling him aside and hopefully they release his Action Master partner, Rad, who will hopefully be transformable. And I much prefer the coloring of this mold of Megatron. And I do like this version of Megatron. There have been a lot of Megatrons released over the years. And so far, for me, this strikes me as the best version of Megatron yet. He transforms into a Cybertronian tank, which is appropriate for his character. He can no longer transform into handguns, which is kind of odd anyway, just because of the legalities of toy guns. So over the years, Megatron has switched to having his alt mode be tanks, and that actually started very late in the original toy line, where his final toy was an Action Master that didn't transform but had a tank as an accessory. And then in the Generation 2 line, he was a big green tank. So, and then after that, he was a purple tank. So Megatron having a tank as the alt mode goes back to the original toy line, and it just seems appropriate for his character and for his position as Decepticon leader, where most of his followers were some sort of military vehicle. So I digress. I'm going to go in and open these babies up and put them on display here, and we'll see Crosshairs with Pinpointer. So here you have Crosshairs with Pinpointer. Pinpointer's in his little robot mode there, and I would say they're quite a pair. Let me transform these guys, or transform Pinpointer into his gun mode. Okay, and then we're going to peg him into, all right, that was a bit of a tight fit. So here is Crosshairs with Pinpointer in his regular weapon. So he's a double fisting. So this is the same model as Ironhide, Siege Ironhide. As I understand it, Earthrise, which is the next chapter after Siege, is going to be bringing out another Ironhide, like an Earth mode Ironhide. So my preference is to allow Crosshairs to use this Cybertronian mold and then collect Ironhide in the Earthrise mold, so that, you know, they both have some uniqueness to them. So finally, we have an Autobot Targetmaster completed. I'm hoping that they do go through the other Targetmasters, and we'll see how that goes. Megatron here is just, I'm just loving the silvers on this guy. And he's just so G1. And it's like, looking at this figure, my thinking is, why couldn't they do this on the original show? Like the way they approach the design of this toy, it's so G1 accurate, or just very G1 accurate. And it just makes sense that instead of transforming into a Walther P-38, he would transform into a tank to lead his troops. So I'm very pleased with this design. There was a Megatron released in Titan's Returns, where he was a headmaster, and that one to me was pretty chintzy. And as I said, I prefer the shiny gunmetal silvers on this version of Megatron versus the regular Siege version of the character. I haven't transformed him yet. Oh, excuse me. I haven't transformed him yet because I just took him out of the box. But that is something I will be playing with today, and I'll be putting pictures up. And I think that's going to be about it for this video. So thanks for watching, and until the next video, ta-ta for now.